On welcome to the Secret Sunday podcast without James. This is on the Second Sunday channel, I believe. I think that's how we're going to do it. Not the smoothest intro I've ever had. But today, we're in for a very special episode. We have my good friend Bryce Allers, who I've known since I was 5 years old, I believe, around 2006. Bryce lived abroad for 2-ish years. We'll get into that a little bit. And then he moved back to D.C. to receive his bachelor's in political science at American University. He's such a special individual to me because everything, just the person that he is. He's a very kind person. And I think that'll radiate through. No talking near the intro, please.
Okay.
No talking. Please welcome Bryce Allers. Everybody, give it an applause. Bryce, thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Just a quick disclaimer: you are a guinea pig for this.
Okay.
This might not go well. Just a heads up. It might be 15 minutes. It might be 30 minutes. It might be an hour. I have no idea how it's going to run. But yeah, I'm excited to have you on.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. What is this background noise? What is this noise? Do you have a fan going? Oh, perfect. Perfect. You sound so much better.
Okay. That's great.
Welcome on. Welcome to the pod. First question, what's it like to be on the Secret Sunday podcast?
The Secret Sunday podcast?
That's what we're calling it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know this existed until 5 minutes ago, so it's
It
great.
didn't exist until 5 minutes ago.
It's great. It's good. Nice to see your face again, buddy.
Yeah, you
Feels
too,
like
buddy.
it's been a long time.
Well, not exactly true. I'm always on the group phone calls.
Yeah, every once in a while, but, no hard feelings. All good. We're just in and out.
I'm a busy guy. I got this podcast. I'm going to a show later today. That's
Absolutely.
not the point, though.
Absolutely.
Have you watched the Second Sunday podcast?
No.
I figured not.
I like I said, I didn't know this was even a thing, but now
Because
I need to start watching it, I guess.
you don't have to.
Okay,
You don't
well, I'm
want.
interested a little bit.
Just a little bit, or maybe a lot of it.
I mean, it's only been a few minutes since I've been on here, so I need to know, what kind of stuff y'all get into before I become more interested, I guess.
Well, for these, I would like to have a little bit more serious guests. You're a serious guy, I think.
Yeah, for the
And
most part.
so I'd like to have some real professionals on, if that
Okay.
makes sense. And you're kind of the gateway to that, because I think you're a very corporate, very professional, very, but also friendly and down to earth type of person.
Yeah, I got a sense of humor to me, a little bit.
And I have
Nothing
to describe
crazy.
you in a host voice rather than how I normally would talk to you. But
It's alright.
c'est la vie. We move on.
Yes.
Second question. If you were to describe the journey of your life in one sentence and the journey of where you want to go, how many extra sentences would you need? They only cost $4.
I feel like life is a lot simpler than what people make it out to be, so I think I'd only ask for 2 sentences.
Okay.
I
so
don't know what those really would be at the moment. I'd have to think about it, but I feel like at the end of the day that I think everything is more complex than what it needs to be, and I think life is just a journey, and you can make it easy and simple or hard and rough, and I feel like 2 sentences is probably the best for that.
That's a great long-winded answer. And now, third question. If you were to describe the journey of your life in one sentence and the journey of where you want to go, what would it be?
I don't know. I feel like where I want to go okay, you're gonna have to repeat that because I didn't think I'd have to think this hard.
Oh, you thought
I've
it'd
just
be
been chilling on the couch all day.
chill, casual type of non-professional type of interview?
Well, when you get me in my moment, I'm at work or whatever, yeah, I can think a lot quicker, but I'm also not in it. I've just like my brain's been rotting all day.
Okay, we can take it more chill. What have you been up to today?
Literally nothing. It's my day off, my first day off in like 2 weeks, and I'm just watching Law and Order. And,
Law and Order's your go-to? Is Judge Judy on
no, no, it's not. It's not really my go-to. It's just I like reminiscing a lot of old shows that I used to watch back when I was in high school, and that's what I'm doing when I have the time to do that.
that? Okay. You're working a lot these days still, right?
I am working a lot these days.
So, are you
Way too
still
much.
still I haven't caught up with you in a few days. I kind of feel bad. The plan is
Okay.
still get your masters at AU?
Yes, yes. I actually was working on a LinkedIn post for it. I am going in January. Gonna get my master's in
January.
January. Gonna start in January 2027.
You mentioned LinkedIn. What is the secret to LinkedIn? How do I up my LinkedIn game? Because I think I have only 7 connections, if that.
So I think when I started undergrad, I had only like 10 connections. Depending on where you are and what you're working in and what you want to work in, I think LinkedIn can be a tool that can help you, find more opportunities, whether that's academic or professional. I think at this point, I've learned more about how, to find certain jobs and how to find certain people to connect with. I think the best way to use it is first developing more connections, as many people as you can. And the more connections you have, the more opportunities you get. So,
You've worked for a lot of people. Gary Peters, Governor Whitmer,
yes.
Jamie Raskin.
Yes.
Who was your favorite person to work for and why? And who was your least favorite? I'm joking. Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
I
Uh,
mean,
but what did you gain from each of the from working under different political leaders?
I think the three of them, obviously, they're all Democrats, but they're very. I think they all have different missions in some senses. I think well, maybe not so much between Senator Peters and Governor Whitmer, but I think like I was working with them through like three different stages of my life. One, I was still back in Michigan. The other one in Maryland, and my third one, I was more connected into Washington D.C. And I think each of them provided me with some type of skill set. I think going through one, I became more organized. The second one helped me be, become more humble and understanding of how government works. And the third one, I think, just made me a better um, orator and communicate, and I can communicate better. So I think they all, just like any other job or academic experience or even personal experience that people go through, I think, you get life's a journey, and you learn a lot of new things throughout each, opportunity that you have.
That was a great PR answer, right?
Sorry, what am I supposed to say? Washington changes people. You get trained to talk certain ways. But it's true. I mean, it's definitely true. It's how I feel. I don't think. I don't know. I'm not, the type of person, me. I'm not the type of person that will sit and bash people or go after certain type of
I
people.
don't know.
So I think.
I didn't plan on.
No, I know. I'm just saying. It's just, I think everything you do in life is, I mean, I chose a lot of certain things for a reason. I mean, I remember when I was at one of my internships, I was only a couple months in, and I got a phone call from 202 area code, and that's Washington, D.C., and it was the White House. And the White House called me, and they said, hey, we want you. At this point, I was waitlisted for an internship there, and I didn't think I was going to get in, and they called me. Like I said, I was starting my other internship, and they said, we want you to come and work with us. This was obviously when President Biden was still in the White House, and at the time, the internship I was doing, I was becoming more and more engaged and trying to develop the right connections, because at the time, this was not long before the 2024 election. I think a lot of us had a feeling that it wasn't going to go the way that a lot of us wanted it to. And I think working for the White House for me would have not really set me on the path where I wanted to be. I don't think I would want to be that high up. And, at that point in my life, I wasn't ready for that. So I said no. I said no, thank you. And so, you know what I mean? I think it's sometimes you have some opportunities, and other times you have a message and jobs that you want to do, and I feel like I being all the way in DC wasn't what I wanted to do at that point. I was doing something more impactful in my view for talking, engaging with communities and stuff.
Where did your love for politics stem from, do you think? Have you always had it? Was it something that you developed throughout your life? And why do you think you love it so much in a field where certain people are certainly more averse to because of they feel politics is corrupt or that nothing ever really changes? Where do you differ from those people?
Well, I can definitely, I'll tell you a little story. I remember all throughout, we were kids, but going through elementary and middle school, I always told myself I want to go, I want to be a doctor, I want to go into the medical field, what may have you. And then I remember going into freshman year of high school is when I started exploring a little bit more, and I saw campaign videos of, the 2016 election. And that's when I realized that this is, I always knew I wanted to help people, but I realized that this is the path I want to take to help people instead of going down. And so I remember I watched in June of 2015 Donald Trump come down the escalators, and watched that entire speech and said, yeah, this is not something that I really care for. And then I turned around and watched a few other videos from some of his opponents, and I resonated. I was only 15 years old, but I felt very moved somehow, some way about what they were saying. So that's where that started. It's been 10 years. Ever since then, I always knew I want to go into politics. I want to go study political science and policy, and I've done all of that stuff. But your second part of your question about why I think people think that way, I mean, being where we're from, and a lot of people, I think, don't fully understand what happens here in Washington, and I don't think a lot of people understand like how the process works. And voting for a president and electing someone to Congress or wherever, it's a lot more complex than that. You can't just elect one person and expect everything to just get better or get worse. I think a lot of people don't know that, and it's not their fault at all. I think what happens is, we have, issues with lack of access to education. It's too expensive. People can't learn about these things. We have, a lot of rural communities where, we are from. I think we don't educate our fellow citizens about all, the process of government and how it actually works. So, I grew up as well thinking, Washington's corrupt. It's full of a bunch of swamp people. And, that's when I moved away and I was like, I'm going to go figure it out for myself. And do I think that, government works for the people? Not always. But I think it's different being, that I studied it more. I know how it actually works. That's just me. I just feel like I have a more understanding of how it goes because I was given these opportunities. So I think everyone should learn a little bit more about how our country works and how our system of government works, and I think a lot of things could definitely be different.
You've had quite a shifting political adventure in your life, I would say. You were one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters back in 2016. I believe you voted for him and were at his rallies. As well as before him, Marco Rubio, you were a big advocate for, and I believe you voted for him in the primaries.
Okay.
And then you suddenly start going this woke path.
Okay.
And start ruining your reputation amongst your fellow. I won't say what town we grew up in, but suddenly you shifted to a lib, and things got much worse for you. And just explain where you went wrong. In life,
Okay,
basically.
absolutely. Well, first I'm going to start out by saying that I did not illegally vote in any type of election because
You have no proof of that.
I was I was either 15 or 16. No, I was 15 going on 16 years old when the 2016 presidential election happened. My first time voting was in the 2020 Democratic primary, I believe. Or I think that was my first time voting, was Michigan Democratic primary in 2020. Um anyways, I was easily influenced as a child, as we all were, and everyone around me, I think I wanted to belong and have a sense of community and a sense of fitting in and feeling like I fit in. And I think, given that where we're from is pretty much like 70% conservative, I went along with what everyone was saying, and the adults surrounding me were all saying, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, he's great, he's gonna make America great again, and so that's what I went with. I think at 15 years old, I was against. I mean, I was against him. Still have pictures from over 10 years ago of me, in freshman year of high school, obviously still trying to caucus with Republicans, but against Donald Trump. All of his opponents, I went from Rubio to Christie to Cruz to Kasich, anyone but Trump. That was my whole thing. And obviously that, the 2016 election ended how it ended. I was, still, like I said, easily influenced as a child, as we all were. 2017 came along, and then we all kind of witnessed what had happened and what was going on in his first presidency, and I started learning more. I was, by this point, almost a senior in high school, and I developed more cognitive abilities and just grew as a person and as into an adult, and realized that this wasn't anything I believed in. I didn't agree with anything, and I registered as a Democrat when I was 18 years old. In fact, there's a person out there that has a very similar story to mine, and that is herself, Hillary Rodham Clinton. She was a Republican when she was a child, and then grew up and became a Democrat when she was in college, because she was easily influenced by the people around her. So it happens, even though, you might not fully think that that's true, but it happens.
I believe anything can happen. I just don't understand why sometimes.
Sorry,
that's
we're not
okay.
born
Well,
and all raised Republican and stay that way like you.
I have no affiliation with any political party.
Yeah.
So let's get deep. Let's get serious. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about this? You moved to Columbia right after high school.
I did.
What was the experience of leaving like, and where did you get some of the courage to make that trip? Like, fresh out of high school, I was still in diapers, I think.
Yeah, I think we probably both were at that point. I mean, this was it's been, I don't know math very well. Okay, 2019. I'm not gonna say how many years it's been. 2019. And yeah, I just turned 7 years. Thanks for that. Just turned 18, and I knew I was going to take a gap year because I had been talking to this person online for about a year and 8 months, fully just virtual and Skype and texting, and throughout high school, my junior and senior year. And I was like, I want to go meet this person and travel a bit. And so I bought myself a plane ticket and went by myself to Bogota. And as you might be able to see right there, there's a portrait of the city that I've had for many, many years.
720. We might not pick that up. We'll just pretend we could see it, because not the best video quality that we're recording.
Sorry,
Just
it's
gotta
my
let people
Mac. I don't
right
know.
now. No, it's also the software. I'm not paying for the program. Sorry.
But yeah, I went and I met so many different people, and I'm still friends and family with all of them to this day. Became fluent in Spanish. I was learning before I went, but living there,
Yo también.
yeah, I bet. Living there definitely opened my eyes to a lot of different things. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It was amazing. I go back every so often. You and I had a fun trip once this past year. It was pretty great. But yeah, you saw where I lived for 2 years, and all the people I've met and all the friends I got.
Yeah. I gotta say, going south of the equator for the first time was a fun little journey.
I'm not south of the equator.
South of the North American border.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I think the
journey.
equator goes through like Brazil. I don't think, or like southern Colombia.
I'm editing that out. I'm worldly and knowledgeable. But yeah, it was a fun experience. If I remember correctly, you left me at the Colombian Bogota airport
did.
to fend for myself.
I did.
When I lied earlier. I don't really speak Spanish that well.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to lie. And I could have died. And how do you feel
Yeah.
knowing that you almost killed someone?
I mean, I feel like it's given to, give the audience the entire story of what happened that day, buddy. I think, I got stuck in line for a long time, and you didn't even have to go to the airport that early with me. We're just gonna say that, but you wanted to, so I said, okay. Our flights were at two different times. I was leaving in the morning, you were leaving in the afternoon, and I tried calling you because I said my flight's about to board in 15 minutes, and I haven't even went through security yet. So I tried calling you. You didn't answer. I said, okay, well, he's probably already went through security.
Okay, here's what happened. I'm eating McDonald's, having the time of my
I
life.
saw you
with
up
my
there eating McDonald's.
McDonald's breakfast. Yeah.
Like 5 minutes
then-
before I got to the
Right.
desk where I was supposed to check in at. And then I get up there, and then 5 minutes goes by. Literally 10 minutes total since I saw you last. And I look back, and you were gone. And then I called
And it
you,
was-
and you didn't answer.
No, not true. Not true because I was walking down the stairs to go get to you. I see you are in the front line. I start walking down the stairs. Boom, you're gone, never to be seen again.
Okay, well, if I could pull up my receipts from back then and my call log, I'd show you, but I can't.
Well,
So,
that's what happened. And for the record, you almost killed me. No big deal.
no
though.
big deal.
And then you come back to the U.S. after living in Colombia. You get your degree in political science.
Yeah,
About to get your master's soon, hopefully. Fingers
it's gonna
crossed.
be a few years, but
I think you can do it. You graduate from American University, and you're invited to speak at your graduation. What was that like, and how did you handle that kind of pressure? I don't know how well you do in crowds and public speaking. Are you okay at public speaking? It seemed like you were pretty good from when I was watching.
I think I've grown. It's crazy because the last 6 months of my life has taught me a lot of things, and I think it's weird how someone changes in that short period of time. I think, the last time I spoke in front of people was at the Heroes Banquet in our high school back in 2019, and it was with like 30 people, 40 people, and I remember just kind of having a little panic attack doing that because everyone at this point knew, but I was planning on telling the entire audience that I was gay, and that was kind of going into that. I was freaking out, but I knew they all knew at that point. But it was just kind of affirming to do that. Like I'm right as I'm leaving high school to like make that known and whatever. Anyways, I will tell you how it was easy. I think speaking in front of, I don't know how many people were in attendance that day. I want to say at least, I don't know if it was 1,000. I don't know. It was at least 500. And then obviously everyone watching virtually. I think, yourself. Thanks, buddy, for that, by the way. I think being that when I did audition for it, I auditioned on my birthday back in March, and it was through Zoom, and it was really cool. It was in front of this big committee. I just read off my speech that I wrote myself and my message that I wanted to share with not just them, but the entire class. And I remember I was halfway through and I was in San Andres, which is a Colombian island off the coast of Nicaragua, and celebrating my 25th birthday, and my signal went out. My Wi-Fi went out while I was doing it, and I'm like, well, there's no way they're gonna choose me now. But I quickly got back in. It took me like a couple minutes, and I got back in and started talking again. I apologized for the interruption. I knew I was going up against other people. I think I've had an issue with lack of confidence my entire life. And within a couple hours, they called me and said, we want you to be the speaker. I said, oh my gosh, no way. So I think, once you do something and once you accomplish something and once you look back at you and say like, oh my gosh, I did that, I overcame that, I accomplished that, etc. I think that builds itself, more self-esteem and more confidence in oneself. So that what helped me. I knew going into it. I collaborated with a lot of people from March, April to May about helping me formalize my speech, edit it down, make it perfect. They all told me it was great. All my peers told me it was great. I went in with a huge ego, high standards I set for myself. But I'll also tell you, and I don't recommend this unless it's with someone that is more medically, like a doctor or something, that prescribes this to you. But I remember watching the Jimmy Fallon show back when was this? This was years ago. And Whitney Cummings was his guest one night.
Was it still the Tonight Show, or
Yeah.
was it the late?
It was I don't know. I didn't know there was a difference. I was just watching because I love Whitney Cummings. I think she's amazing. I think she's so fucking funny. But she was talking in the interview. It was the most unprofessional interview I think he's probably ever had. And she started talking about beta blockers and how she's taken them, how she's used them for performing and whatnot. I actually saw her live once in our hometown. Was pretty cool. Amazing. And that's when I was started looking into that. I'm like, okay, let me see these. So I started, taking them. Took one on my speech during my graduation. I think that also helped me significantly with everything. So that's my answer. It's a very long answer.
Okay, great answer, and it was a great speech. I watched it. I looked up, and I was like, whoa, I can do this. I can do whatever I want.
You can do anything.
Yeah, as long as you.
Literally, just look up, buddy. Just look up. That's it.
Do you have that speech posted anywhere?
Posted? No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you could find
you have it recorded.
Yeah, I mean, you can access it. It's on. The American University has a website for commencement archives, and it's up there.
I'll post a link if you give me a link.
I will give you I will text
description.
you the link because I have it saved.
Who is your biggest influence on in your life, do you think?
I've had a lot, definitely. I mean, both in a lot of different things that I've done. I feel like in my life, my parents, both my parents, my mom and my dad, I feel like have influenced me both in different ways. My father has influenced me to, think. He has a really great sense of humor, and not everything is serious, throughout life and whatnot. Sometimes cracking jokes and, staying strong in that way is really helpful. My mom is one of the most selfless human beings I've ever met, and I think me wanting to pursue a career in public service has rooted from her teaching me, it's always important to put others above yourself in many circumstances, think about other people, etc. So early on, I learned, those types of things from my parents. I've was blessed with amazing friends and colleagues and stuff throughout my life, and we've all had, really, really fun times and great times and times that have taught us a lot of different things. And, I've also been influenced by a lot of other people, more notable, politicians and stuff, people with messages and It's just DC, man.
Can you make him pipe down?
It's just
You
DC,
can hear him.
man. You can't be a political science major and not have to quote either like Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton or like you can't. Okay, you just can't.
Yeah.
It's like it's just our nature. It's just our way of thinking. Ruth Bader Ginsburg or Sonia Sotomayor, like they're just all really influential people, and we just have to quote them throughout our lives. So. I'm just gonna skip that part for this matter, but that's pretty much like where my influences come from.
This is the Secret Sunday podcast, as confirmed earlier. So we're gonna make it a tradition to tell a secret that you're willing to share that I don't know. It can be dumb. It can be serious. It can be either of those. But the only rule is I can't know it. If other people can know it, doesn't matter. But I can't know it. Secret, tell me now.
You gotta tell me beforehand about these things, man, because I gotta think. I gotta think about. You know a lot of stuff that's going. You know like everything that's been going on in my life. A secret.
We can also cut it. Okay, I'll start. I don't know if it's a secret, but you probably don't know this. When I was in 4th grade,
Oh my God.
I threw ice.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go to the other story. I'm like, not this again.
What story?
About you and your raisin on the floor or whatever with my brother.
Oh, when I shit my pants?
I thought that's what this was going. I'm like, I know.
That's a different story.
I know this already.
That's
Okay, anyways.
That's a different story. In 4th grade, I was a goody two-shoes. Never got in trouble for nothing. I was the best kid.
All throughout school.
Son of teachers. Yes. And me and my friend Josh, redacted, blank. Me and my friend were throwing ice into the slide from the top, and then we would watch it like go down the slide. And we just thought that was the coolest thing ever. We just chuck ice up and down the slide. And then these people, these kids, I know their names, but I'm not going to say them. I'm not going to air them out. I don't think you like them. Let's just put it that way. Alexis was one of them. Anyways, I was chucking the ice down the slide, and then they're like, "Hey, stop throwing that ice down the slide." And I was like, "No, I don't want it. We're gonna keep throwing this ice." And then they did. They like went down, and we like stopped for a second. And then, like, once they were in the slide, we threw the ice back in. And then, like, they were like, "Oh, it hit me." No, it didn't. It's a tunnel slide. So they were, like, halfway down the slide. How would the ice have curved around in the tube going down and hit you? Maybe like, landed on your butt. Maybe it hit your butt as it's, like, going down. That wouldn't hurt, though. Anyways, they snitched on me. They told on me to Mrs. I edited that out, but you know who she is.
Redacted. Yes, I know.
Redacted. Yeah, she's been bleeped. And she made us sit on the wall. And I was like, what the? We didn't
Probably a
even
little
do anything.
warranted, buddy, after all that.
We didn't even do anything wrong. I stand by it. We didn't do anything. We didn't throw ice at them. Anyways, I was crying a lot.
Oh, buddy.
And then she was like, "All right, well, I'll let you off with a warning this time, but if you do it again, you're getting two write-ups." I was like,
Okay. Little 8-year-old
And we went
Zabe,
back
buddy.
inside.
You know, I always forget. I don't know why. I always forget that you're. That's like one thing we had in common was that. Well, I had one parent that was teaching, but you had two that were both your parents were teaching at our community, and
Yeah,
how did
so-
they react?
Oh, they never found out.
Okay, well, we can't have them watch this then.
I don't think they would care now. I'm 25, and that happened when I was 9.
Great.
So
Great. Well, I can.
you didn't have your mom as a teacher?
No,
right?
never. I mean, she was only. No, she was in elementary, and by that time it was.
Would you have wanted to?
No, I mean I did when I was younger. I remember begging and pleading when I was like 6 or 7 years old for her to be my teacher.
Why do you think they were like, no?
It wasn't. It was actually her choice. Yeah, I
Oh.
remember she told me later on in life, she said, you know, she didn't do it for a reason because I was kind of misbehaved as a child. I wouldn't even say kind of, I was very misbehaved as a child. And I think she would have saw that, had me in her classroom, and I probably wouldn't have respected her authority very well, as neither as a teacher or as a mother. So I think that was just a recipe for disaster. As a 25-year-old, I completely understand it now. So, yeah. But, um, I can tell you a secret, but we gotta redact most of it.
Okay, that's fine.
Um,
Welcome back to the Secret Sunday podcast. Bryce just shared me his secret, and I just cut it out. But we're back, and we were talking about childhood memories. What was your favorite childhood memory?
that includes you or doesn't include you? Or just in
It
general?
doesn't have to. In general.
I don't know, I had a lot. Even though, like, I was not really that great of a child, I had a lot. I mean, I think my best memories, I think, to this day is when, I was very, very young, and my, immediate family, my nuclear family was, all living in the same house. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with the life I have now, but I've always, like, wondered, like, where my life would be had my, parents never split up. And I don't know,
The question was favorite childhood memory. Favorite childhood memory.
This is what happens every time I think about my childhood. I just think about that. I mean, it was fine. I remember, like, back in the day when my grandma was still with us, like, she would be driving her car and we'd be going to my house, driving from wherever. I'm not going to say the locations, but from one place to another, and from town to my house, I'll just say that. And she had her freaking big Citgo Dr. Pepper in the front seat and blaring radio and just living life, buddy. Back out in the woods and on the back roads, and I don't know. I had a lot of good stuff. I had a lot of good memories. Middle school, high school, a lot of good times. I can show you my entire Snapchat memories if you wanted to.
That's not what
The time Alicia fell off the rope swing. I mean, we go.
I
got a lot of good stuff. I only just remembered that because I just saw it a few days ago. But I had a lot of good stuff.
How is Alicia?
She's good. You just saw her too a month ago. So
yeah,
she's good.
I think I gotta get rolling here soon. So I just wanted to thank you. I don't know why you added me to a FaceTime call about 3-ish years ago now.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was in such a rut in my life that I was just living at home.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't doing anything, unemployed, no job, no
you had just graduated,
life.
Didn't you?
Yeah, a few months out, and I just didn't know anything to do. I was still wallowing from a relationship that ended semi-recently.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't able to move on because I wasn't really getting out of the house. And then you introduced me to your little group call that you call every day. And shortly after, I moved with your good friend, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
And my life has been dramatically different ever since.
Yep.
So I want to say thank you. I don't know if I would be here without you.
No, buddy.
And
I said in the beginning, life's a journey, and life is so much simpler than what people make it out to be, Now you're living in the big city, meeting all these people, doing all these things. Crazy.
Yeah. We're doing something. I don't know what we're doing.
We're doing something. At least you're not sitting, at home wallowing away like you said you were.
Exactly. And anyways, I think that'll do it for the second Sunday podcast. Let me review my notes here, make sure I hit everything. Oh, what do you think your hottest take is?
I just said this the other day too. No, I can't say it.
Okay.
No, I can't say it. I won't say it.
Well, it's a personal.
It's not. It's political, but I won't say it because
Okay.
I'm not in the mood to get canceled again. So I won't say it.
I think Bryce. Let's see. If I remember what you told me the other day, you think that the NATO deserves to be disbanded, and that Trump is doing a great thing in the Middle East in regards to war, specifically.
I think that was you that said that. I didn't say that, but well, it's okay.
That's what I remember. Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
don't think so.
It's fine.
All good.
That's all I got for you, though. Thanks for joining me, buddy.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Until next time. Sorry I can't play games.
It's okay. I'll just go play games with other people.
Oh, what games are you into these days? Still Repo?
That's it. That's all. Like, I tried downloading what that other game was, and I don't have enough storage, so I can't. So
Which one?
the one that Taylor plays with Spencer, Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight?
I can't.
Oh.
It literally takes up my entire max storage, so I can't.
Yeah.
I got Repo and I got Fortnite. That's it.
What about that new Chameleon one? Have you seen any clips of
I
that?
haven't seen any clips of that.
I think it looks fun. We should play that.
We gotta get back
Anyways.
to some Overcooked.
Oh, I'm the one that likes playing Overcooked. Nobody else likes to play.
Yeah, because it's stressful. Let me like someday quit working at a restaurant and then we'll play it, okay? And then we'll reminisce on how it was working at the same restaurant chain.
I know, but I'm like, I know all the lingo. I know how to efficiently do things.
Hands.
So I'm like, I kill it. Nobody else, everyone else is sitting on their ass, just like randomly cooking things. And I'm like, guys, we need this. We need lettuce. We need tomatoes.
Hands.
We need burgers cooking. We need hands. Get the plates. Wash the plates. Put them to the front. We need
That's
plates.
the type of stuff you gotta be recording and posting. That's funny shit right there.
Anyways, I'm going to be running late. My girlfriend's going to kill me. Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
This was the Second Sunday podcast brought to you by Xavier Raven. Over and out.